mission of our HaLev, what we're trying to do with our work here, is to provide a vision and practice of Judaism as a path of transformation for our lives, for our relationships, and for the world we live in. We like to talk about the practice we do and the goals of our organization in three ways, in terms of three pillars: Torah, wisdom, the text of our tradition; Avodah, practice, the work we do together; and Tikkun, transformation. We deeply believe that there's deeply relevant wisdom in our traditions and our sacred texts, and we're committed to sharing that in a transformative way, and in a way which also empowers people with the tools to access and appreciate those texts and wisdoms themselves. If you one example, on a recent retreat I taught this year to a bunch of Israelis, we offered them the possibility of a practice of going to a mikveh, which for most of them, it was their first time ever having the possibility to do that. And before that, we studied together some texts about mikveh and the deeper meaning of mikveh as a process of transformation, of purification. And their ability to hear this perspective in the tradition, a perspective which wasn't accessible to them before, which they didn't know existed, and then to take that learning with them into the experience of mikveh itself, was incredibly powerful. A number of students, for instance, shared at the end of the retreat that they had cried in the mikveh upon coming out of the mikveh, simply from that sense of feeling for the first time profoundly embraced by their tradition. This was almost entirely secular Israelis who had found, for many of them the first time, something deeply meaningful in their own tradition. The next piece is Avodah, practice. And it's very important for us that Jewish education is about transformation, not just information. And in order to do that, it means more than just texts. It means giving people and ourselves genuine, concrete practices to transform our lives and our communities and our world.
In terms of my own journey and the path I've taken from a place of excited engagement with Jewish ideas, but ideas which weren't in themselves transformative, and finding myself, although very excited about Jewish philosophy and practice, still finding myself depressed, lonely, and not knowing how to deal with those things, practicing things like Shabbat, but lacking the fullness of the experience of an inner Shabbat.
On one retreat, the students shared with me some feedback in the end, and one student wrote me an email and said, "I learned on a deep level I am worthy of being loved and have the capacity to love myself. What more can I ask for?" And it's that kind of really deep opening and transformation in, first of all, our relationship to ourselves, that this work of avodah, of practice, is meant to bring us to. The work we do of tikkun, of transformation, is about making ourselves better and different people in the world, about making ourselves better parents, better children, better partners, more loving, more compassionate, more aware. It's about transforming and opening the hearts of our communities, of our nation, of all Am Yisrael, and of the whole world.
I also want to say that one of the things which is really exciting for me about what we're doing is that it's not limited to any one kind of person, to religious people or to secular people or whatever. It's really relevant to anybody who's involved in this kind of like being human thing, you know? And it's like wherever you are, it's relevant about how do you go about living and breathing and relating to your thoughts and emotions and relationships, and the people who just cut you off in line or in traffic, or who are asking for money, or who are being angry or upset and whatever. It's really relevant to every Jew, to every human being.
And we see that, and what's so beautiful is we see that concretely in our programs. One thing that has been so gratifying for me has been the incredible range and breadth of people that have come to our offerings. There are many things which try to be pluralistic, and they are in wonderful, beautiful ways. I think what's special about what we offer is that we allow Jews of all different stripes to come together and actually share a powerful Jewish experience together. Not just to talk, not just to share differences, but to have a shared language and experience. And that ranges from a Chabad Chassid to people who define themselves as totally secular. On our last retreat, for instance, Chabad Chassid who was there, came on our retreat, he said, it was so hard for him to come. It was so outside his comfort zone. And there was a lot of suspicion and uncertainty. But what he actually encountered in the end was just so many beautiful ways of serving God, of doing Avodat Hashem, as he said. We had another woman who came on a retreat, Jewish, but really hadn't been connected so much with her tradition, had been pursuing her own spiritual path, and talked about how, for the first time in her life, she felt that she belonged in a Jewish environment, and encountered a Judaism which for her was truly meaningful for her life. And then there's everything in between. Every denomination, people just living their lives, rabbis, rabbinical students, whoever you are, business people, lawyers, doctors, therapists,
teachers.
We really just want to make the place available to you wherever you are to share in this profound experience of change together. And it's something extraordinary to see how people can genuinely experience that respect, and even more, I would say, the understanding, the deep understanding which comes from actually seeing somebody working through and playing out their path, and seeing the power that's contained in their choice of a way of life, which may not be your choice, but which is another beautiful path in this tapestry of Judaism.